Reddit. What's the funniest thing that a random stranger said to you that made you die laughing inside? Of 2000. Passing through Norwood, Louisiana with a friend. At around 2 in the afternoon we stopped to gas up, grab some snacks at the most podunk gas station known to man. A young man, extremely agitated, comes in with frustrated gestures and angrily shouts gestures at the cashier with an accent that is beyond region, beyond stereotyping, beyond anything I have heard before. Where the goddamned Wally Melons at the top of lungs, approaching hysteria and tears. I'm not sure why, but this had me dying for a while. I still laugh when I think about it. Me. How you doing today, sir? Customer. Yeah. And he went on his way. Woke shop that sold electronic cigarettes years ago. A customer came in complaining that the new flavor made her pee smell funny. I couldn't keep a straight face when I said I wasn't sure if that was related. Then she says, "Oh, well, it could be an STD or something, I guess. Thanks," and walked out. Camping a few years ago. He told us, matter-of-factly, that he was a redneck hippie back in the 60s. He was there for the sex and the drugs, but not so much that love and peace shit. We still crack up about that. I'd be a smoker. One time a scruffy-looking man asked me for a light. I told him I only had matches. It was very windy. He said, "That's okay. There's a trick to it. You light the match and then suck down real hard. You get a mouthful of sulfur that way. But you gotta have a trick when you're going 30 miles an hour on top of a tank." Inel in the front of the room chimes in on something, and mentioned that her eyes change color during the summer every year from blue to green. This black dude in the back of the class whispers to his friend, "Yeah bitch," and I turn white in winter. I had to remove myself immediately before I made a scene from laughing so hard. A treat with a big jack-o'-lantern grin on his face and 2 chihuahuas under each arm, loudly proclaiming to no one in particular, "I used to carry grenades. Now I carry dogs," said to me as overheard. Walking down the street with my fiancée after dinner, a man and woman pass us. Very clearly I heard the man say, "And that's the second time I got crabs. I just keep a special little comb at the house now, just in case." I'm not sure of any particulars and have thought about that interaction often. So many questions. I know they heard me laugh though. Edit. Damn everyone. Thanks for all the great stories. Good to know there are so many jokers out there in the world. My college years ago saying "get the fuck out of my way" to a pigeon standing in his path. The pigeon quickly waddled off to the side. The other day checking out at the Cracker Barrel, the older gentleman ringing my wife up accidentally said, with all confidence, "Have a thank you." I was at a 50th wedding anniversary party and there were lots of elderly people in attendance. An old man was standing next to me and said, "It looks like a fucking graveyard in here." I literally spit my beer out. We were outdoors. The kicker was the guy was close to the same age as everyone else. As 2 kids walked past our caravan park site, a rumbling boom of distant thunder. Kid 1, "I like thunder. It sounds like a 200-year-old dog who's retired and helps old people who are blind to get around." Kid 2, "Silence." Kid 1, "You know." Kid 2, "But why is it retired?" Kid 1, "Because it's old." Kid 2, "But it's still helping blind people." Kid 1, "Silence." I support over the phone for an internet company at a call center. I got a call from an elderly woman, because her internet stopped working. After checking remotely that the modem was working and that there was no issues on her area, I was scheduling a visit from one of our technicians when she suddenly says, "Oh, I know what happened. The cat was playing around the router yesterday, right? You think it took a cable or something?" "No. He probably took away the Wi-Fi." "You mean like he moved the router?" No. He probably took the airwaves of the Wi-Fi. You know how cats see things we can't. He surely say the Wi-Fi signal, grabbed it and took it away." It took all my willpower to not laugh in her face and finish the call. And one of the professors that I don't think I've ever actually spoken to comes in and starts washing her lanyard in the sink. I try to make small talk with work people even though I suck at it, so I try to strike up a conversation that goes down as follows. "Morning. I spilled coffee on my lanyard and now it's all sticky. Blah. That's the worst. At this point she turns off the faucet and looks at me completely deadpan with eyes that said she wanted to feed me my own innards and said, I think genocide is worse. So I awkwardly mumbled YKB a haviness day and quickly escaped. It's turned into a running joke in my office now though. Anything from the printer being out of toner to a fire drill on a cold day is literally worse than genocide. A very intoxicated man kept saying I need to borrow your fireplace, he wouldn't let it go, despite being right by the fire. Turns out he needed a lighter for his cigarette and was so drunk that he forgot what it was called. My laughter was not internal. I died laughing right in front of him. Edit. My first gold. Thank you, internet friend. Where dad took my brother and me to a Sox game at Fenway. We get to the park and I was putting mustard on a hot dog from one of those mustard box push down nozzle things. This random guy next to me goes, yeah buddy, lather that bitch up. 10-year-old me thought it was about the funniest thing I'd ever heard, and I still chuckle when I think about it as an adult. Yup, for movie tickets with my family, the attendant asked the ages of our 4 kids to see if they could all get children price tickets. I announced their ages, 7, 9, 11 and 13. Without missing a beat, the stranger behind us declared, that's an odd group. See, said piece of pizza in a Mexican accent and hung up. I was in a large college seminar, so I never knew the people that I was sitting next to. This professor was known for being a bit of a dick, constantly switching up assignment due dates and tacking on extra work and or additional material to upcoming exams last minute. Professor did something dickish like the above and murmurs of disapproval and annoyance spread through the aisles. The dude next to me leans into my chair and says to me, this is a load of barnacles. In the same voice as the fish guy from SpongeBob that says the line. It was just perfect and unexpected. Ice introduced to me as Big Dick Kyle. I was seated in a crowded New York subway car when the guy standing in front of me passed gas. It was intense. The man sitting next to me held his nose, and said, how now, brown cow. I was blading down a hill too fast, and landed on my ass. Painful, sure, but not excruciatingly so. An old man walked by and said in the most jolly voice, is your behind okay, young lady? I was shaking of laughter. My behind was okay, yes. Respect women. I would never ever hit a woman, but I'd cut a bitch up. Homeless man. I ain't gay. I'd never let a man blow me, but I'd blow him for money. Same homeless man. He's my hero. I was canoeing with my fiancé for the first time and we were having a bit of trouble at first getting a rhythm going, so we were along the edge of the water hitting the canal. This random couple was walking along the wall and said to his wife while pointing at us, AHH canoeing, the true test of love. My fiancé and I bursted into laughter for 20 minutes and then finally got our rhythm together. Subway, home one night with a Spike's Junkyard sandwich, of the buffalo chicken variety. A clearly drunk guy with his girlfriend said to me, are you going to face fuck that sandwich? To which I replied yes. He then turned to his girlfriend and said, babe, let's get some buffalo chicken. Woman and the 80-ish-year-old greeter says, thanks for shopping at Dollar Tree. Little girl to me after I explain my service dog helps me when I'm sick. Oh, so he's your dog too? Me, trying to keep a straight face. Yes, exactly. We're served. I had a table of about 20 Asian people. The head of the group shook my hand and introduced himself as Tony. Tony the Tiger. He tried to sound cool and tough, but all I could think of was the cereal mascot. The freshman in college I had a pair of rainbow bill bottoms I made and wore a lot. I walking through the city back to the dorms when a guy rode up behind me on a bicycle. He was old, had long, scraggly gray hair and a bright red and yellow windsuit on. He rode beside me for a second, stared and then yelled, miss, your pants are hot. Hwowed, and the rode away into the sunset. It was so random and hilarious. Every time I wore those pants my friends would run up behind me and yell, your pants are HWAT. He's about as intimidating as a bunny rabbit. I was walking him on the grass along the road. A couple of walkers were coming near me and my dog started barking at them, so I picked him up. The guy says, thank you for picking him up. We were really scared. None of my customers. He's doing a finishing job for a billionaire in the city when the designer insists they use booties or shoe covers. He said he just had his men take their shoes off at the door. Billionaire woman responds with Peter, their socks on my carpet is like your penis on my vagina. Disgusting. And X200B. Funniest thing I've heard in a while.